Hey guys, welcome back to the channel if you're new here. So I decided to do, first of all, welcome to December of 2025. This year has been absolutely, first of all, it's gone by super fast and so much has changed. And it's also my last month in my 20s. Yes. I turned 30 years old in January 15th to be exact. And if there is someone who could like school you a little bit on your 20s, how to navigate them, how to do them, it would be me. Give you a little bit of background, a little bit of context. So I have always loved creating. I went through so many eras of trying so many different things. I was a travel blogger. Then I turned it into like a She Prospers brand movement that I did. I did my own blog. I was a makeup artist. Then I started a bridal business. Then I was like this woman empowerment after I had my kid of like hot mom and like developing a personal brand, YouTube, TikTok. I've tried it all. I've done it all. I've studied abroad in college. I've really had a very full in up and down 20s. And so I just feel like if I had a video, if I was 20 or like 23 or 25, anywhere in my 20s, I would want a video to just like, hey, girl, what you're going through is normal. You're going to get through it. This is all a part of the 20s. And what better way to help my sisters out than to give the advice myself? So let's get right into it. I actually created a list because you guys, I am so serious. I want you to have the best 20s that you can, live it up, have a great time. But I also want you to move with intention and wisdom because we can't just be out here free balling. Like what I've learned is that the 20s really does who you become in your 20s. It really is the foundation of just your being, right? So we'll get into that, but let's get into this list. When it comes to your 20s, I'm not going to lie, guys. I've learned this more so because of being in situations that I couldn't pull myself out of. But if I could redo my 20s and start from literally 20 years old in college, whatever the case, I would literally prioritize my relationship with God above everything else in my life. And the reason that I say that now is because I do have that relationship now and I'm growing, I'm evolving, I'm constantly becoming this woman. But there are so many things that I feel like would have been prevented. And I feel like I wouldn't have had to go through some of the hardship that I did just off of strict disobedience and living my life any kind of way. Make him the center of your life. Literally everything good is going to come from there. Develop a prayer life. Read your Bible. I never really read my Bible in my 20s. I would, you read your devotion and you read a couple of verses, but it's like only like a few times a year. That was more so what I was on. It wasn't consistent. I really wasn't prioritizing a relationship. And I feel like when you grew up Christian and you grew up in church, you kind of really don't understand the full like depth of what it is to have a relationship. So yeah, unfortunately, I feel better than I hear. So God had to take me through it to bring me to my knees, but we're good, But if I could give any advice, start there. When it comes to your destiny, when it comes to your purpose, when it comes to just how you navigate life, decision making, moving to a new city, being in relationships, friendships, there's so much that God wants to show you. There's so much that he wants to partner with you with. And there's so much heartbreak that he will save you from and warn you about people so that you don't even go down all of those loopholes that I had to do. I'm not going to lie. When I say this, look, I say this with all seriousness. I'm not joking when I say this, but honestly, if I would have just been a nun and not paid men any attention. Now, again, I understand relationships. Love you. When it comes to men and relationships, like I know we have to have trial and error, but here is what I would do so different. Look, y'all. I get it. I hear you. You may not like this advice, but I would hold out on the sex. Y'all, I know that's not something that we all like to hear, but when it comes to my heartbreak and when I think about all of the times I had these severe crash outs and like these huge meltdowns and like, oh my God, I hate my life. And like, when I think about and just the emotional, like, just crazy stuff that I have done. Insert Angela Bassett. Yeah, when I think about all of that, I definitely say that sex really just kind of clouded my vision. It clouded my judgment. It made me more vulnerable in situations that I shouldn't have ever been in. And, you know, you're going to go through your 20s like all of us do. You're going to have a lot of trial and error. But when I honestly reflect and think about my life personally, this is my personal spill. I think that my life would be different. And God's grace works regardless of your situations and, you know, your decisions. But when I think about my life would be totally different if I was not having sex in my 20s. Like, for so many reasons. So I'm a mom. I have a 5-year-old. Don't regret my kid at all. Love my kid to death. I'm so grateful that God worked it out to where I can love being a mom and, you know, co-parenting and all of that. But y'all, sex just like, it keeps you bound in areas that you just wouldn't have to be bound in if you just weren't having sex. And that's a hard pill that I've had to swallow, but you live and you learn. You know, I'm not going to say that I regret it and I wish I can go back. But if I could talk to someone who hasn't had sex yet and who has not opened themselves up in that way to men, I would say, girl, sex is good and all, but you're not missing out on anything by deciding not to have it. So again, this is my personal opinion. That is something that I could have done without. So, you know what? For my girls who have not entered college yet, listen to me loud and clear, please. So what I really wish that I would have done is been so intentional when it came to planning for college. When it comes to college, first of all, so let me give you a little backstory. I was supposed to go to a school in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, RMU Robert Morris. And I had applied. I got accepted. My auntie was a professor there. So it was like, of course, I'm going to go. I didn't put too much thought into college outside of that. I just knew that I was going to go. And she ended up getting breast cancer. She ended up passing away. So literally, I don't even remember applying to the school that I went to. But I promise you, I was cleaning up my room one day. I looked down and I saw an acceptance letter from UMKC. Now, God's way, you know, he just wanted me to go somewhere. It was close to home and I needed to be close to home because she was staying with the family at the time. So I had to travel back and forth to be able to visit. So it all worked out. But if you are in a place in your life where you can choose and you are just thinking about, how do I pick a college for myself? How do I navigate that? First of all, I need you to be very clear. You're not going to know everything that you want to do in life anyways at 20, like 19. You're going to have no clue. And you're going to change so much by the time you're 30. It's like, girl, just go to a college. But think about what you want from the colleges you go to. Who has, some colleges, you do some exploring, you'll see that some of them always end up having great careers if they went to XYZ college. I know for myself personally, I had a lot of people who went to like HBCUs, Howard specifically, and I don't know what it is about Howard, but when I tell you everybody there had amazing jobs and amazing opportunities that I just did not have at the college that I went to. My college didn't even have a homecoming. Like, who does that? And why? We literally had a soccer team. So there's no like going back in college and like seeing everybody catching up. We don't have a homecoming point blank period. So that is an experience I'll never get. And I just wish I would have been more active. Like I was AKA in college 2017, but there's just way more out there than the college that I went to. So think about the city that you want to be in, what fits your vibe. And I also think that when you pick a college, picking somewhere that aligns with what you want lifestyle-wise, because that really is your ticket out of the city that you live in, your hometown. Just be wise. Go visit if you can. If you can't, just think about your dream place that you want to live. If you want to live in the city, if you want a smaller city, if you want it to be very diverse, if you want it to be hot, cold, like this is the time to make that move. So be very, very intentional with 1, your grades so you can get into the school that you want. And 2, picking a college that fits you, your lifestyle. If I could redo it, you guys know what I would do? Have you ever seen Drumline? Yeah, I literally loved that movie. I loved that movie down. I would have been like the majorettes, the girls that dance at the band. I'll insert like a video here. I would have been this, and I would have just been like a social butterfly at the games, like having a good time with the girls. Probably went to like Howard, which I was going to transfer at one point, or I would have went to like Spelman and just lived just a beautiful Black experience in college. Oh my gosh, you guys. So this next one, please, if you are able to, please relocate to a different city in your 20s. So I actually got pregnant at 23 and I had my son at 24. But before that, I had graduated college and I had it on my board that I was going to move to LA. At first it was LA and then it was Atlanta. And I was like, I'm moving here. I'm doing this. And, you know, I had this whole plan of how my life was going to go. And I didn't end up doing it because I got pregnant the same year. And no regrets with that. But that goes back to my other point of like holding out on the sex, because it can completely just change the outcome of a lot of things. Not to say that I won't ever relocate and I still won't experience that. But if you're able to relocate with no kids and you have your freedom, first of all, I'm going to need you to realize, sister to sister, how much freedom you have when you do not have a kid or a man. Please take them off of the pedestal. And I need you to get real bold. I need you to get real serious about the woman that you want to be. Say, forget all of the distractions, forget the love, forget the man, forget all of that. And I need you to be so incredibly selfish in your 20s to where you're just moving how you want. And when you're not tied down to like a relationship or a kid, you can just get up and go and you can continue to go. And honestly, if I would have never had a kid as young as I did, I would have been the girl who would have tried out Houston, New York, Charlotte, like LA. I would have just been moving around because it's like, man, I can just really figure out what fits me best. Just like you have this whole just like resume of experiences and different lives that you've picked. I like absolutely love the girls who just get up and go, but get up and go, please. You're not stuck. You're not a tree. You can move as many times as you want. Who cares what people think on that one? Now, this next one, you guys, invest in yourself, and not only your appearance, but when it comes to your education, your experiences, don't be cheap with yourself. Please invest in, you know, of course, your appearance. Get in the gym, take great care of your body. I've always been pretty active, and I've had some of my chunkier years while being 20, actually. So I was a little chunk at a few points in my 20s, which is crazy, like over 200 pounds after I had a kid. But just invest in you. Like, don't be cheap. If you see a bag that you like, if you see a shirt that you like, if you see a makeup, whatever foundation that you like, buy what you want. If you're going to be cheap with anything, don't be cheap with yourself. And even education. Take a time to learn a new language. Take a time to go to your dream country. This year I got to go to Rome. You guys, the trip of a lifetime. But when I say invest in yourself, do things that really make you happy. And you're not going to really know what makes you happy. You don't want to get to the point where you're 35 and you're 40 and you're like, I don't even know what makes me happy. I don't even know what I like to do, because you didn't take the time to just explore. Like, you really got to be okay with looking like a fool to whoever and always being the girl who has a different idea and the girl who does always starting a different brand and a girl who's always switching up her look. Y'all, this is what the 20s are for. No one is expecting you to have it figured out in your 20s. So go big or stay home when it comes to that. And literally try it all, do it all, learn the languages. I went through a phase where I was like learning French. I studied abroad in college. So I like pretty fluent in Spanish. I lived with a family in Costa Rica for 3 months. So I was just, you know, out here speaking Spanish and just like having a good time. But I would seriously just do whatever you want. Like, learn. I am obsessed with knowledge and learning new things. So I'm always learning something. I'm always challenging myself. I never want to be complacent. And I love, like, one thing about me, I love to be in the one in the room who just knows a lot. You know, the one who can just drop knowledge out of nowhere. You're just like, wow, like, she is so smart. Like, I love when people call me smart. I love a good, like if I give my perspective, like, yeah, I be out here reading. I be out here listening to people. I be out here in my word. Like, I'm a very diverse girly. We can talk about a lot. Okay. So invest in that. And then, oh my gosh. So this one did not come to me until like probably the last 2 years. I'm 29 now, probably 27, and like finding your signature look. Oh, you guys, I wish this would have been my thing earlier. So one thing about me, y'all, I've done it all. I kid you not. I have done a big chop. I've done bobs. I've done froze. I've done long hair. I've done short hair. I've done black. I've done orange. I've done so much when it comes to my look. And it wasn't until 27 for the first time that I tried some blonde highlights. And I promise you, it's like the world just began to open up for me. I know that sounds dramatic and you're probably like, girl, like, please shut up. Like, the world did not open up for you. But literally, it's like I became more attractive when I figured out the hair that looks better on my skin and my features. Like, it's just something about the blonde, us natural blondes, that it just makes my face pop. If I were to and when I look at pictures of myself with dark hair, I was still pretty, but it just didn't do what the blonde does for me. You know, like it just didn't fully show this is Chrysteene, the girl who always got her nails done, French tip or pink with her blonde in her hair. And then when it comes to signature look, maybe I'll do a video on this next because I really feel like we can really get into some stuff when it comes to finding your signature look, how to find it on a budget, or if you got money, what I do to just kind of feel more like myself. So let me know if you want that next. I think that'll be a second video, but yes, signature look. And you're not going to find your signature look if you don't experiment. You cannot be too cool to experiment, y'all. Okay? Please stop being lame. Stop being stuck in your ways. You're only in your 20 somethings. I'm going to need you to get real creative and go put on some pink hair. Okay? I'm going to need you to maybe put some golds in your mouth. Maybe not golds, but I need you to just experiment and try different things. Like, y'all, one thing about me, if I wake up thinking it, I'm probably going to do it very soon within the next few days. Try stuff on. I went through a very flashy phase. Like, I went through like the natural girl phase. Like, y'all, we can go on and on, but that's why that'll be a different video. But yes, signature look, please find her. Please find her. When you find her, you'll just start making little adjustments. Like, I know what kind of blonde I like versus a blonde that I don't like. I know how I like my highlights to look. I know how I like my hair to be done. And it's washed there right now. So like, you know, nothing crazy, but I know what looks flattering on me. So this next one is something that I'm actually learning right now. Oh my God, let me apply my lip gloss again. So this next one is something that I'm actually still currently in the phase of, but investing in your space, in your home, in your room, like you just want your home to look like yourself. And I saw that it was a trauma response to never decorate. And that was definitely me. It still is in a lot of ways. I finally feel like I'm growing out of that. But there's still that part of me that's always afraid to get settled into a place. So I pretty much went through all of my 20s with minimal decorating, not really putting my all into my space. And just find little trinkets that you like. Find stuff around the house. If you're out, don't be cheap. Just be like, you know what? I really like that candle holder. Yes, it's $40, but it's something that makes me feel good when I look at it on my desk. It makes me feel like this is cheetah print. It's girly, it's feminine, it's classy. Y'all, invest in your space. And while we're on the topic of investing in your space, some of y'all are going to be upset when I say this, but again, I say nothing without a little bit of experience, okay? So I'm not going to lead you astray, but do not live with a man that's not your husband. Y'all, listen, I have never fully lived with a man full time, but I did live with my ex for like 3 or 4 months. And, you know, I just I just think that every woman should live as long as she can without a man, or paying her own bills in her own space. Or if he pays your bills, great. But I think that you should wait to live with a man until they make that commitment with you. Now, that is a personal decision. That's not how everybody thinks. That's not what everybody likes. But in my experience and my observation, when we rush things and we kind of let men just like, we're kind of lax on our boundaries. We're kind of just like, oh, well, it's convenient. Like, I can just do it. He's my best friend. It kind of just, to me, it spoils the excitement of phases in relationships. You know, like it kind of just spoils that excitement and like anticipation of steps of like, okay, he's courting me, he's trying to impress me, he makes the commitment to me, he proposes to me, then we go shopping for a place. Like, as someone who's lived with their boyfriend, even though it wasn't for like years and years, I could say that you're not missing out on anything. You're going to have a whole lot of fun if you just go get a girl roommate and y'all just live like two girls in the city, have a good time. Or if you're just living solo. I love living alone. I love living alone. I could live alone for a very long time and be perfectly content. And I'm just at the point now where I'm like really just wanting to make my space more girly and more feminine and feel more like me. And you just can't fully do that with the man. And I know one day I'll have to live with him and I'll have to live with my husband, but I'll be ready for that because I did not rush getting out of my own place to go live with the man. Okay. And you know, while we're on this is kind of in sync with what we're talking about already, but do not be a wife with no commitment. And when I say commitment, I don't mean that man loving you down. I don't mean that man buying you roses. I don't even mean that man paying your bills. When I say do not be a wife with no commitment, I'm talking about marriage. I'm not even talking about an engagement. Y'all, I've been in a long-term relationship. I've been in a couple long-term relationships. I know what they're like. And I also know what it's like to be single. And the longer that I'm single, the more that I understand why God creates order and why we're supposed to wait on certain things. And when it comes to moving in, having this kid, it's like, what is the significance of marriage at that point if we're already doing everything? And what parts of myself, I just think about me. I absolutely love individuality. I love being alone. I am a true loner when it comes to just like how I thrive in life. Not to say I don't need community, but I really, really, really enjoy being solo. Like I just love it. I love it. And it's just not worth it to give, especially your 20s. Like I could understand a little bit if you was like in your 30s and you're just tired, or 40s. But like in your 20s, girl, the world is at your disposal. What are you doing acting like a wife to someone who's having you wait years and years and years to be a wife? No. Go back to your house, go get your own place, cook for yourself, wash your own clothes, and let him continue to try to impress you and win you over. And you decide if that is a man that you want to spend the rest of your life with. But babes, it's just like you're not missing out on anything okay? I'm not going to talk too much about that, but please listen when I tell you, girl, I've been able to observe a lot. I've been able to experience a lot. Make these men work for absolutely everything. Everything. No man should be comfortable just sliding up on you like that. Put in the work. Okay, this one. Oh my gosh, you guys. This one makes me a little, not sad, but this one definitely makes me think a lot. Like, I spent so much of my 20s just really hounding in on my insecurities and being insecure for no reason. Like, now that I'm about to be 30, I don't know if this is really a 30 thing, but I have just felt so comfortable with just being all parts of myself. Like, no matter if I'm chilling, no matter if I'm on, no matter what I got on, like, just a slight intermission. I'm sorry, y'all. My son needed my hip. Okay, back to it. But I have felt this just like surge in confidence. Like I feel like you can't tell me anything, and not in the cocky, conceited way, but just a self-love way. Like I spent so much of my 20s criticizing myself, like, oh, I don't like this. I wish I could change that. Like, you know how us girls can be, always just like clocking everything about ourselves. Like, girl, being insecure is such a waste of time. It's such a waste of time to spend your time being insecure. You could be spending that time loving yourself, being obsessed with yourself. And the things that you can't change, you just can't change. So if it's a particular thing that you're just like, oh, I really wish I could change this, you're going to learn to love it. I remember kind of feeling like that growing up too. Like, oh, I really don't like this about myself. But you really, and I don't know if it's just me, but I generally age better. Like I genuinely get better with time. So I just look a little better every year. And then the thing that I was super insecure about, I'm like, girl, like you're gorgeous. Are you kidding me? Like being insecure, like if it's something that you can change and you're just being lazy about it, like, you know, you do need to do better. Like I'm not even gonna lie, you do need to do better. Let's say you're super insecure about your arms flapping when you say hi. You know, you can go to the gym. You can go to the gym. You can start eating better. You can start doing, and I don't want to hear that it's expensive to eat healthy, girl. If you want it, it's going to get done. You can turn on that TV and do some Pilates at home with no weights, all body weight. You can make it work. It just depends on what you're going to do about it versus complaining about it. So yeah, anything that you can change, change. And I'm not against a little bit of worky work. Like I haven't gotten to that bracket yet to where I can just go get the work that I want done. But it's going to be really nice, subtle enhancements. And I also feel like now that I'm at a place where I feel very confident and I love, I really love myself genuinely, it's going to like those little tweaks and enhancements are just, just what us girls do. It's just what us girls like. A little bit of, right? But yeah, don't waste your 20s being insecure. It is such a waste of time, space, energy, effort, thought. And another thing that I've just on the same subject of like being like insecurities is I don't know if you've noticed, but when you feel great about yourself, that really radiates. And it's like your aura, your vibe, your spirit is very obvious when someone loves themselves and when someone doesn't. So it's like just take the time to just love who you are outside of the external things and your hair and your makeup and your face and your body. Really love who you are at the core. So let's not put our self-esteem and just our self-worth into our image. Because at the end of the day, we're going to change. We're going to get older. Things are going to drop. Things are going to look a little crazy as we get a little older. But when you love who you are, you're going to be comfortable with the version of you that continues to grow and age and all of the things. So just love her. Like, love who you are here. And then all of this is just it's going to match the energy. It's going to match the vibes because we're good here. It's all an energy thing, you guys. Like, that's what I'm learning. It's all the energy. Okay. And I'm just going to say it, guys. You need to be having a ball. You listen to me loud and freaking clear. In your 20s, you need to be having a ball. Have fun. I get it. We all want to be that girl. I get it. We all want our career and aspirations. I'm not the type of person to ever tell you to put life on pause to pursue a career. I want to enjoy the journey along the way. I want to have fun along the way. Don't be thinking about why you're not married. Don't be thinking about why you're not living in your high rise with your cute little puppy or why you don't have all this money in the bank account. Y'all, you don't want to get to 40, 35, 50 and be like, dang, I was so young. I was so hot in my 20s. I was so healthy in my 20s and I was so consumed with next and I was so consumed with where I wasn't that I completely neglected having fun with that young hot body in my 20s. Close the door. Yes. Like, just enjoy the moments. Go to the parties. Go take that trip that you barely have money for. Go take a road trip with your girls and say, hey, girls, let's just get a cabin for the weekend. I know we ain't really got it like that. We can just go buy some groceries. Let's just have a blast up in the woods for a weekend. Let's go catch a flight. Y'all, there have been plenty of times in my 20s where I really didn't have it like that. But I was going to make a good time happen regardless. And I was going to live my life to the fullest without worrying about my bank account even the next day. The money's going to come back. The money's going to come back. Have a good time. Have a good time. Be responsible, of course. Don't be out here crazy. I'm not telling you to be irresponsible, but I'm telling you a lot of people don't have all of the money in the world in their 20s. So you can afford to be a little risque, you know? All right. This next one. Okay. So as a girly who, really does want to live a life of excellence, I would say everything that you commit yourself to, whatever that is, whether that's a career, relationships, platonically as well, everything that you do, have a pursuit of excellence. Don't be out here having a reputation of the girl who is always doing everything. It is not good at anything. Like, care about your reputation. If you're at a job that you don't like, make sure that you're a great employee and you're kind to everyone and you're showing up like it's your dream job. Have a good reputation about everything that you do and do everything with excellence. Don't do everything lazy and just like, this isn't what I want to do anyways. This isn't where I want to be. Where you are is where you're planted right now. So if that's on freaking, hold on, y'all. So if you're at a job right now, show up as the best person that you can be. If you are in school right now, your only job is to get amazing grades and to be active and to be involved and to be an overachiever in school. It ain't cute to have bad grades. It ain't cute to be the cute girl who is not great at anything. Truly, if you're going to show up, let's say you want to do content. Let's say that you want to, I don't know, insert whatever you want to do. Whatever you're going to do, if you're not going to put your all into it and you're not going to try it with all of you, don't do it at all. There are so many people who are taking shortcuts. Don't be the person who also take a shortcut because everybody else take a shortcut. Do the work hard, look good. I live by that. And I'm also learning that because I wasn't always that way, y'all. Honestly, I hate to say it, but I've been almost fired from like all of the jobs that I've had. In my early 20s to like my mid 20s. I don't know what it was. Like, I was always really nice. I was always like really warm and inviting and like kind to people. But when I didn't care, I just didn't care. And they always would love me, but they would just kind of be like, Chrysteene, maybe this isn't what you want to do. And I'd be like, I remember actually one time I was working at a bank. And I actually really liked my boss at this bank. I really liked her. And I really liked my, and I was in college at this time. I really liked everybody. I was like, we had fun at work. And she was just like, I don't think this is for you. Like, she was like, she's always told me like to do my own thing because I was doing makeup at the time and videos and stuff like that. She was like, that is who you are. This is not who you are. And I was immature at the time. So I was just kind of like, she's a hater. I was a little immature. So I was just kind of like, girl, you're hating on me. But she wasn't hating. Like, I wasn't showing up because that wasn't what I wanted to do. So if you are somewhere where you don't want to be, maybe it's also just a sign that you don't need to be there at all and you need to do what you really want to do. Because again, you're not a tree. You're not planted. So if what you're doing is not working, come up with a game plan to get out and to do whatever it is that you really want to do so that you can show up fully, but be faithful where you are. So this one is nothing deep or crazy, but I think every woman should be documenting her 20s with journals. I have every single journal I've ever owned from like through all of my 20s in my closet and like my keepsake box. I have documented dreams. I've documented things that I wanted to do. I've documented like heartbreak. I've documented how I've been feeling on random days, my pregnancy, everything like that. It's just good to let it out because we don't all have people that we really trust, and no one wants to hear everything that you're going through. But the journal is just a nice way for you to release what it is that you're holding inside, and for you to go back and look on. Like, I promise you guys, I have a lot of dreams. God gives me dreams. And it was either like a couple years ago or something like that. I was writing and I was talking about New York, and I was like, oh, I was like in a beautiful high rise, and I got clarity on my content or something like that. You guys, I picked up that journal a little bit after I found that journal entry like 2 years later, 3 years later, I don't know. And I had just gotten back from New York and gotten clarity on content. So it's just really cool to just see how like God is showing you things along the way. Write down those dreams. And I'm also learning to be a good steward over my dream life. So God gives me so many dreams. And it's no point in giving you all these dreams if you're just going to wake up and be like, oh, okay, like, thanks for the dream. I'm learning to be a good steward of my dreams. So when I'm waking up, as soon as I wake up and before I touch my phone, I write down my dreams. And it's just a way for me to show God, hey, I'm going to be faithful with what you showed me. And I'm going to pray about it. If I need to intercede in this, I'm going to intercede in it. And just, being faithful there so that he continues to give me dreams. But, write down everything, girl. I want to be 50 and I want to look at my journals and I'll be like, girl, you were tripping for no reason. Like, relax, girl. You're doing a lot. All right. We're coming to the end of this. Don't worry. Hopefully it's fun and helpful for you. But you guys, boundaries, need I say more? Need I say more? When it comes to dating, have fun, look inward. Don't be obsessed with the thought of a man liking you. I remember I went through a phase of just be like, oh, I wonder if he likes me. Like, I wonder if he likes me. And you know what? Forget that. Because the only thing that we as women, we truly rule the world. Like, women are so powerful, and I don't think we understand how powerful we really are. But the only thing you need to be concerned about when you're dating a guy is if you like him. Does he make you feel good? Do you like the way that you feel around him? Because have you ever been around a guy and it's like you don't even feel as beautiful because and it's like when you really think about it, he's just like insecure or he's weird or something like that. It's like, I don't like how this makes me feel, so I'm out of here. We don't have to give people the benefit of the doubt. Fish after this. Fish. Yes. Love you. But don't be who cares if a guy doesn't like you? Y'all, we're not even thinking like that. That's so last year. That's so 2025 and 2026. If we don't like him, if we don't like the way that he makes us feel, if it doesn't feel like something that we want to entertain, move along. Like, there's so many guys out there who are absolutely going to adore you, and you first got to adore yourself. But there are so many guys who just would absolutely be honored to be around you. Why worry about if somebody likes you, But have boundaries. Like, yes, have fun, date, and all of that type of stuff. But know when it's time to go. Know when you're overstaying. I know that girls don't want to admit this, but when a man does not like you. And I know it can kind of like be shocking because it can be like, wait, like you don't like me? It can kind of just be like, what, are you kidding me right now? Like, what don't you like? You know that song by like Beyonce, Why Don't You Love Me? Like, I make me so easy to love. Like, what is there not to love? What do you mean? But truly, if somebody don't like you, we're not all for everyone. If somebody don't like you, ouch. But get out of their face. We all have heard the saying, don't let a man tell you more than once that he don't want you. Nothing is more embarrassing than staying and a man is showing you that he don't want you and he's telling you that he don't want you. Know when to leave, have boundaries, and put yourself first when you date. All right, guys, the very last one, and I feel like I can go on and on, so hopefully, whatever. But be a student of life, be curious, have fun, take healthy risk, and love hard. Never regret the love that you give people. Like, don't ever be like, I should have never been a sweetheart to you. Don't be like that. Like, don't be like, yo, I should have never loved you so hard. We will never apologize for being lover girls, okay? We would never apologize for being sweet. It's our job to love. Our job is to love people. Our job is to just be a good vibe. Is to be, they probably needed that little love that you gave them. You weren't even going all the way in. Like, you wasn't even going all the way into how you really be loving people, but they probably needed that little bit of love because they never got that growing up. So we're not ever going to regret. And if you were a little foolish in love, y'all, who hasn't been? Who hasn't done the most for love a few times? Maybe 100 times in their 20s. Like, we've all done that. Don't regret it. Be curious about everything, y'all. One thing I love about myself is that I'm so curious. I'm always trying to find my own version of life, my own meaning, truth. I'm always exploring things. I'm always challenging things. I don't just take things at face value and run with it. But I'm always like, why do I believe this? Why is this like this? Let me go do a little bit of more research on this. Let me figure out why this is my truth. Let me gain more understanding of why I do believe it, why I think this way, and be okay with that no longer working for you one day and you switching your mind about what you think and how you believe and all this type of stuff. But y'all, be curious, explore, have fun, just live it up. Literally have fun in life, y'all. Like, literally have so much fun and just take it easy. Like, I would tell myself to chill out so many times because every time I thought it was the worst time in the world, I thought I wouldn't survive it. I thought I wouldn't make it through. I would make it through, and then you're going to go through something else in your life that's going to feel the same, but you're always going to make it through. Like, you're always going to get past the moment to where you think it's so unbearable, you think it's so painful, you think you have no way out. You're going to be fine. Like, this is all what the 20s are. If I could like give you what the 20s are, it's about making mistakes. It's about figuring out who you are and learning from all of the mistakes that you made so that we don't take that into our 20s, and having a really good understanding on just who we are at our core. The extra things will come, the career will come, the love will come, the marriage will come, but your 20s is all about what would I say my 20s is really, really all about if I had a word? Exploration, identity, and making a lot of mistakes that you're going to overcome along the way. It's trial and error. Your 20s are trial and error, but the quicker you learn, the better off you'll be. The better off you'll be.
Bish.
Yes. But what I will leave you with this: do not use your 20s to make all of these crazy, dumb decisions and to live your life recklessly, because everything that you are, yes, because everything that you, yes, everything that you are meant to learn, and you're going to have to deal with all of that baggage and all of that healing and all of that becoming and shedding in your 30s. So it's not the ages that define you. It's how you define your ages. Your 20s will be trash if you are just partying, drinking, high all the time, sleeping with everybody, and reckless with your life. Your 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s are going to suck as well. You have to be intentional. So build your life intentionally, live authentically to who you are, make great decisions. And yeah, I would say like, the 20s is a time. I'm so ready to be out of them because I feel like I'm really just like more comfortable with a woman that I'm becoming and all the things. But yeah, you guys, I hope this video was good. I hope that you have an absolutely amazing 2026 and that you start those changes in 2025 so that 2026, like we're not new to this. We've been doing this for a whole month. But all right, guys, this was fun. I'm so glad I was able to share sister to sister all of the things. I hope you guys have a great day, evening, night, and I will see you later.